Hey guys, this is Bobby Davis, the CEO and founder of Coder Foundry. It's another beautiful day here in North Carolina, Kernersville, the tech capital of the world. Hey Kevin, how you doing?
I'm awesome. Tech capital of the world is looking good
You know
today.
what? You know what today is? It's Blazor Day, man. Isn't
It
that
is.
cool?
It is. Yeah, we saw that this morning. I was like, I didn't see it before today. I was like, I didn't know Blazor Day was
Yeah,
today. Apparently, it's the second
yeah.
annual. There's a website
Second
for it too.
annual Blazor Day.
Yeah, second annual. Here we go. Look, second annual Blazor
Got
Day.
a
So they,
cool little purple dragon there. I mean,
yeah, I think the branding's interesting. I like this. I like, obviously, I'm a
yeah,
big purple fan. I think it's cool. It's a hot color, like the gradient stuff they got going on here. And yeah, it's cool. Blazor
yeah.
Day. It's like a little mini conference they have for a day. It's neat. So they have, let's see, they have some cool people here too. Chris, we're
Friend
familiar with.
Chris Sanity. Yeah, there you go.
So that's cool. I saw part of Carol's talk this morning. She did a very like introduction thing. I think we should. I'm going to
Yeah,
see if I can get her to come on the show. Um,
yeah,
it's cool. She had a very interesting talk about some basic stuff, and Jeffrey here I'm familiar with too. He's always live
yeah.
on
Jeff Fritz, the
on
Twitch master himself. He's
YouTube.
got a little
Yeah,
live
on
Twitch
Twitch.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's
yeah,
cool. They have a little schedule of things today,
yeah.
talking about some different
So here's the
stuff.
ones I'm interested in right away. I think full-on forms of Blazor Christianity, whatever he does is going to be good.
Yeah.
Um, and then Jeffrey Fritz does a lot of live coding on Twitch. That'll be pretty cool. And then at the very bottom here,
All the way
actually
down here.
Daniel
This one.
Roth. That is the one you want to watch.
Yeah.
The future of web development with .NET and Blazor. And I think that is what I've been saying for a year now is starting to come true. Had people interviewing for Blazor jobs today. I'm starting to, people are asking me about Blazor. So a lot of people are thinking that I'm overhyping this. I don't think I am. Like I'm telling you, people
Yeah.
learn Blazor. I mean, but hey, if you don't want to learn it this week, you can learn it next year when everything's hot. Just don't don't tell me I didn't tell you. So like,
Right, exactly. Don't say we didn't call
yeah,
it.
yeah. So like, I just want credit for calling it. That's all I want to do. But no, seriously, I think it's a really big deal. I think that .NET MAUI and Blazor to the desktop is another thing that people are going to do. I think
Yeah.
they're just going to write Blazor apps that get distributed to the desktop.
Well, it's funny because
So
in this schedule, the second speaker was literally talking about his thing is titled Blazor and mobile apps with Blazor. Oh, sorry, yeah, mobile
yeah,
and desktop apps. Sorry, with Blazor is what's entitled. So
yeah. So here's the big thing about .NET 6. Like, and this is why, once our self-paced course drops, whenever that's going to be sometime in the summer of 2021. And I saw someone, are we announcing it today? No, we're not announcing it today, but
I don't
we're going to
spoil
give you
it.
an announcement.
Maybe we'll announce it at the end. You don't know.
Maybe we
Wait till
will,
the
but
end.
yeah, exactly. But we do have some big things in mind. But I do believe that Blazor to the desktop .NET MAUI is something that will add to the self-paced course later in the year. Once that becomes really solid, we had some guys working on it even last night, and so I think that what you'll see is you'll be able to build code once and launch it anywhere, and that is super exciting. So like it's pretty hot, man. So like
It shows that
it's
it's hitting the
everyone all
market too, right? Because like you said, we were talking about it just before this. You had somebody
yeah,
interviewing for a Blazor job literally this morning, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's first person come to us with like, hey, we need somebody to do Blazor. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and so like having said that, if you are looking for a job, I do need some people that do .NET, C Sharp, maybe 3 to 4 years of experience in C Sharp. I'd love to talk to you. ASP.NET, Blazor. If you're doing Blazor, I'd love to talk to you. If you want to do Blazor and you can show that you can do Blazor, I would want to talk to you. So, but specifically C Sharp is the primary skill set I'm looking for. Looking for probably 3 to 4 of them if I could get them. So they do have different requirements in different locations. So unfortunately, they're not remote positions. So if you're remote, it's just not going to be possible. But Pennsylvania and North Carolina. So if you're looking for that, let me know. So that'd be kind of cool. All right.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. One other thing to talk about close to us is the virtual bootcamp starts in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And
So
so
like,
we're accepting applications until the 21st. Technically, we may extend
right,
it a couple days past that. We normally do. We normally let people go a little bit over,
right.
but 21st is the official date. So if you're looking to come to the bootcamp virtually, 21st is the drop dead date for that.
Yeah, we're filling it up pretty quick, but if you wanted to get in, you need to probably do that today or tomorrow, or early next week, to see if we can get you in. You do have to qualify to get in. Not everyone gets in, so just because you apply doesn't mean you'll get in. Our first step to get in is filling out the quiz. Fill the quiz out. We interview you. There's some JavaScript stuff to get in. So you do have to qualify, a little bit of qualification to get in, but we are pretty much a zero to hero. We can take you from there if you haven't been coding, but we just want to interview you and see if you're a right fit for our virtual program. And that program will launch July the 5th. July the 5th.
Yep.
So that's a Monday right after the 4th of July.
When it starts.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Hey, we got a super chat already from Austin. Thanks for super chat, Austin. Need a Blazor dev, wait till after the course comes out, then I'll apply. I like the attitude, Austin. I like that
Train
attitude.
him up and then get a job. That's the goal, baby. That's the goal. I like it.
That's the attitude to have, Austin. It's just like, I'm gonna get this. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's great.
I do think you need to start looking into Blazor. I do think it could be one of those moments when we shift over to WebAssembly. And so here's the thing I want to caution people on. You can wait till it happens, and which is fine. But remember when Flash was hot, and you remember when plugins were hot, like Silverlight, and that specifically Silverlight changed like that.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, suddenly it was like everyone was rewriting everything because plugins weren't supported in the browser. And so these browser vendors can move the needle as far as like how we build things and how we write things. And all I've been saying for the last year and a half is that WebAssembly is running in the browser, and the browser vendors are going, and those addition to Microsoft are going to push people towards that because you can do things that you couldn't do before. So it's going to be cool.
Definitely. Look, Jen says Blazor reminds of a scene in Dodgeball. Ben Stiller goes, "This is my team, Blade, Laser." It is an I don't know how I feel about the name. It's not bad for Microsoft. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
It's not bad. It's the best one so far.
It is the best one so far. I don't like the fact that they have.
I like it's trailblazing. I mean, it's a trailblazer. WebAssembly. Yeah. I think that's probably where
I get that. I don't like the fact that there's two different versions of it that are two totally different things. That's confusing. Blazor server side
so
and
there's
Blazor
a server
WebAssembly
side version, and then there's a WebAssembly version. So I don't know why they did that. And then the other thing is you call it Blazor. Show the site for the Blazor conference.
Hold on, I just got rid of it. Here we go.
So we'll just pick on the marketing department here again. So now we have Blazor Day. It's called Blazor, but it's a purple dragon or a purple dinosaur. So it's, is it Barney Day? I mean, what are we doing here, man? So
this is true. You can't get past a purple dinosaur without thinking about Barney, can you?
No.
That's
don't know.
Yeah.
Seems like I would have had a fire logo of some sort. Trailblazer.
Yeah, he's got it on the little flag look. I don't know. I'm okay with it. I don't think it's the worst.
It's a cute dinosaur. It's not bad.
It's a cool dinosaur.
It's a cute dinosaur.
Yeah,
I do like purple. I think purple's the new hotness right now. I do think purple's hot.
Yeah. It is.
So anyway, I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's a cute dinosaur, but it doesn't have anything to do with Blazor though. But I guess that's okay. I guess we have the Philadelphia Phillies and the chicken as their kind of like their mascot.
Exactly. Or is it a chicken? Hold on. What did the Phillies have as that weird mascot that got in trouble that they ended up getting rid of? What was that one? That was weird.
Yeah. So Eric, what I want you to do today is take some time and watch the Future of Web Development with Daniel Roth today. I think it's 11:45 Pacific. So Blazor is in ASP. So it's a different way of building ASP apps. So definitely right now, ASP.NET's more in demand if you're looking at MVC, but Blazor is part of that paradigm of where they're building things on the back end and then just building a different front end with Blazor on the front end. So, but I think there's more opportunities for ASP right now than there are for Blazor. I'm just talking to you guys that are already coding out there and you're already doing stuff. Pay attention. Grab some of these things when it first comes out. Hop on something new. It's kind of cool.
Which look, Restless Tinker is already on this, enjoying Blazor and building out apps. Maybe one of them will make it to the market one of these days. So yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Somebody who's already doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Before we do get to
mortgage
questions,
calc was cool when he built that thing for us. It was cool.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and built it in Blazor.
Before we do get to, I will do questions. Throw them up in chat just as normal. We'll go through as many as we can. I will obviously, if you super chat, we'll push those to the top. Those come up. So feel free to do that too. One more thing. Oh, actually, a couple things just to talk about real quick. Did you see this? I don't know. We talked about this real quick. We haven't really talked about it, but this chip shortage thing. We've talked about the chip shortage a lot here, right? You can't buy a graphics card. The car lots are literally empty because they can't put the chips in the cars. We're seeing it across a whole bunch of things. You can't buy gaming consoles are still like sold out everywhere. So this is cool. US and EU have this tech alliance where they're investing literally billions of dollars into infrastructure to produce them in the EU and in the US. I was like, this is cool.
Yes.
Because obviously they're concerned about this, look, about the rise of China as a technology superpower. But I don't think it's just that. I think it's that the pandemic has pointed out that when the supply chain fails, like, we can't make stuff. We rely way too heavily on these chips now.
Yep.
They're in everything.
But I also think that China has learned too that they can hurt our economy by,
of course,
not doing stuff or withholding stuff.
Of course.
So I do think it's in our best interest because we have the companies that are actually doing the work on here, designing these things.
Right.
So if I was Apple and I'm making the M1 chip, there's no way I'm making it in China.
But I think they are, right? I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
the only
you need to manufacture it in the US.
I think the only manufacturing stuff they were doing in the US was the Mac Pro, the cheese grater Mac Pro. I think that's produced in, like, they say manufactured in the US. I'm sure it's manufactured, it's assembled in the US from the chips are still made overseas. It's assembled here, and maybe they manufacture the case here. But I think that's going to change a little bit, maybe. Maybe we're going to see more of that come back to sort of like Western countries.
If you put
it's interesting.
Even if you put the plant that's doing the manufacturing, if you just have to have cheaper wages, maybe that's in something, Mexico or somewhere like that, where you don't have to
done that, right? I mean,
a 4 or 5 week boat ride to get chips in. So like you can get them, you can send a truck down there and go grab them, that kind of stuff. And have
I know there's a bunch of car manufacturers just across the border for that exact same reason. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know.
I like it. I would rather it be made in Texas or made in, North Carolina. Let's put a chip plant right here in Kernersville. I think that'd be great. Right beside the giant Caterpillar factory, where they're making all those things. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Which I'm sure, even things like that. I mean, I haven't tracked this or anything, but I'm sure chips go in everything. So even things like that, like the Caterpillar things, I guarantee you those have chips. They probably have a shortage too. So I bet you it's not as easy to get one of those now. But I hadn't driven past. It's funny. I drove past the car dealership. I know we talked about this before. But every time I drive past that Ford car dealership by the office there, I drove past it for the first time in months, like the other day, to go to the Darios right there. And I was like, wow, it is so empty. They must have I don't know, they usually have maybe, I would say, probably 1,000 new cars on this lot, right? They had maybe, a handful.
Just a handful.
It's so empty. Probably. It's not just half the amount. Crazy. It's so empty. I was shocked. So it shows you that they just cannot produce cars.
Yep.
So that's a problem. We need to figure that out.
So I think making chips, obviously in the EU and in North America is great, and I think that's good for everybody. I mean, especially us getting things made. We need to mine that Bitcoin, Kevin. We need to get those graphics cards here. So.
I saw a story about the latest 30 variation of the 3070 and it being locked down again for mining. I was like, man, NVIDIA, you tried that once. It doesn't work. The miners are technically, the pool of people who need to mine Bitcoin are much smarter than the small group at NVIDIA who try and lock it down. There's 5 people at NVIDIA trying to lock this thing down. There's thousands of people trying to unlock it. Trust me, they're gonna unlock it.
Why do they want to unlock? Why do they want to lock it down so you don't use it for that?
Yeah, because they want the market to be for gamers, not for miners. So they don't want to sell the cards to people who are just buying them up at inflated prices and making money on them. But do they? I don't know. dude. They're just selling thousands of them. Sure, they're just going to keep selling them.
Like a minor card, like.
Right. So I don't.
The GTM,
But here's the thing: they don't have the chips to make any of them. So like I know. It's insane. You couldn't build a PC today, and if you do, you're going to pay a hefty premium for it.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, we keep adding some of your guys' questions to the queue here. Throw them in chat, and we will get to them here as they come up. Let's see. Oh, one other thing I want to talk about real quick. So, I told you about this, but I don't think I talked about it on stream. I was so out back of my house, I have a little fire pit area that we built out there. It's super cool, and we'll go out there. And a few weeks back, was out there at a fire pit, and I'm like sat there, and I happened to look up, and I see a line of lights right across the sky, and I'm like, and they're moving fast, and I'm like, and they're in a perfect line, and I'm like, oh man, is this like what's happening? Is this it? Is the alien invasion happening? Is it independent? Is it Independence Day? Like, is this it? I'm like, this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this before. So I take the picture, and here's actually I can show you the picture. Look, it's here. All right, this is the picture that I took. Look, I put it up on Twitter. So this is a 3-second time lapse taken on the iPhone, right? So these dots are technically over 3 seconds. That's how much they moved in the sky, right? Moving straight across my head, and I'm like literally straight up above me, and I'm like, this is nuts. What's happening here? And what would happen is the first one over here would kind of disappear, and another one would come onto the back end of it. And it would keep going and keep going and keep going. And I was like, this is a never-ending loop of dots across the sky. And I'm like, these things are moving fast. So I'm like, this is strange. Like, what am I seeing? So I put it out on Twitter. And somebody tells me that it's Elon Musk's Starlink satellite system.
Ah, okay.
I was like, I'd heard about this. Okay, like, this is his satellite internet. So I'm like, this is cool. Like, I'm like, I look this thing up, and I'm like, this is pretty cool stuff. It's super interesting. Now, will it ever replace fiber? Is it as good as fiber? Probably not.
Nah, it's never going to be as good as fiber.
Well, right now the beta, 50 to 150 megabits a second, 20 to 40 milliseconds latency, right? Beta. Right. Here's what they've said too, though. Look, so there are brief periods of no connectivity at all, which is bad, but also that throughout the beta, network software, data speed, latency, and uptime will improve dramatically, which is interesting. So these are like initial figures for this. Like if I lived, so for me, okay, I don't live out in the middle of nowhere. I don't really.
Right.
Not really. I'm just outside of Kernersville, but not really in the middle of nowhere. Right. I live in a neighborhood, and I can't get fiber where I am. I can get cable, right, but I can't get fiber. I can't get gigabit internet where I am. If this thing gave me gigabit internet, I'm all about it. I think it would be super interesting. It's an interesting concept, and it has some hardware things you've got to like stick on the side of your house and those kind of things. But I think for rural internet users, this is probably the future.
Oh, well, I definitely think for rural, yeah.
Yeah, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, I think this is the this is going to be the kind of the go-to internet of the future. Now, will we all end up with it in the future? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I think fiber is tough to beat when you look at like really the only limiting factor for fiber right now is electronics, but you do have to have a physical cable to your house, so that's the problem, rolling it out.
Right.
Then there's also 5G. Or 6G whenever that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
well, the latest. Exactly. Well, the next version of broadband would be good enough.
Yeah.
Because if you get on your phone right now and look at like your 5G, if you have a newer phone, 5G broadband, like whatever they're called now, the 5G network speeds, and run a speed test, it's quick. Like
I don't have 5G. I don't have a 5G phone yet. I don't even know if it's around here yet. Maybe
it is, and they're in the hundreds of megabits. Like across it, nice. I'm like, that's pretty good. Like that's pretty good. It's as fast as
I'm
my.
I'm gonna go get one today. Then if it's out around here,
it is, yeah. So on mine, I get I'm on AT&T. So I don't know which one I get here. Actually, I don't know which one it is at home, but it's fast at home. It's 100. Even when I turn the Wi-Fi off, it's the speed test runs at 100 and something. where I am, and out and about, it's pretty good. Yeah, the 5G LTE,
All right,
it's
cool.
good. It's good, and it's not even the fastest. It's not that micro, whatever it is, 5G. It's not even the fastest version. So if you take it to a city, it's even better. So yeah, but maybe that's your home internet of the future. It's not right now because at least in the US, I don't know if so in the rest of the world, at least in the US, phone access to data is really, really expensive.
Yeah,
really expensive. It's very expensive. So when I go back to the UK, data's cheap. I buy a pay-as-you-go, like all-you-can-eat data card, and it's cost me like I don't know, £20, something like that. And I use it for a couple of weeks, and I use all the data I want. Here, it costs like $100 a month.
Yeah,
to have
so
like 10 gigs.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy. Or they have unlimited where they cap your speeds, right? So they pull you down from the 5G.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the speed cap stuff. Yeah.
No, the internet in the US is technically very expensive.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, look. Obi's pre-ordered the Starlink. I'm interested. When you get it, come let us know. I wanna know how it is. I want to see if
we want to see some
any issues
speed
with
test.
it. Yeah, I want to see
what's
the
speed test. Yeah,
I want to see a speed test. Yeah, I want to see like what's the actual usage like. Is it just it because it really comes down to, is it good for gaming? Is the latency good? Right? Can you?
Yeah, the latency is going to be the problem. So like
well, that's what it has been in the past.
DirecTV has something huge network, and it's like latency's like forever. It's like,
it's useless. It's okay for like streaming, like a video or something.
I think you might get stream check your email, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to enter Call of Duty Worlds, hit the raid challenge for Destiny, I don't think it's good.
It's just not going to work. Well, like I said, the latency on the Starlink thing they're saying is kind of fixed. 20 to 40 milliseconds in the beta is perfect. I mean, that's usable. You can play a game at 40 milliseconds. That's perfectly usable. If I play Call of Duty, I'm getting 40s, even on my network.
Right.
So, that's definitely usable. If you get over 100, 200, now you start to like, it's unplayable.
Yeah. Yeah, I know sometimes you get on those and it shows the ping rates for everybody, and you're like, okay, you're out of the lobby, dude. Sorry.
Yeah. You're like, oh, because you're playing from there. You're generally playing from somewhere else in the world. I'll jump on something and there'll be somebody from Europe or something. It's like you got a 200 and something ping. It's like when I used to play Call of Duty with my friends back home, and it's like it's great, like it's fun to play. But we'd always play on a European server, and I'd be like, and if it wasn't a UK-based server, it was the one that was on mainland Europe. If we get a German one or something, I'm like 200 and something, 300 ping. I'm like, it's unplayable. Like it's just
it's unplayable. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, let's say hello to some people. See what kind of questions are going on.
Yeah, let's get some questions here. Hey, look, just a quick thing to start off with. Raymond points out summer starts 21st of June and ends September 22nd.
That's right. So you guys think that we're late? We're not. That's a fact. We're not late yet. We said it would be out in summer.
We will not be late.
We will not be late.
We will tell you, as Bobby said on Tuesday, that we will be towards early summer, not late summer.
Right. As soon as we get a date, we'll tell you.
Okay.
All right, cool. But we are really excited, just while you're looking up the next channel, we're really excited about learn.codefoundry.com. We're excited that you guys are really kind of waiting for us to put it out. We actually feel the pressure when we walk in the building every day. We know kind of like, but we're excited that you want to, spend your money with us, and you're excited for our content. So that makes us feel good about it. So we hope that it'll be as good as we expect it to be. So I think it's great, man. I've been looking at what we've got. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll learn something, and like we'll learn something together. Maybe I'll do a little thing where I learn something from the course. That'd be kind of cool.
Write some code.
Yeah.
Build some stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Maybe I'll build the first thing in there. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Walker, thank you for the question. Let me see. What is this? Is it okay to list a project on your resume that isn't directly related to web development, but uses the language that the job is asking for? So, for example, C#.NET job and a Unity project.
So here's what I think, Walker, about this. Like, if you have a Unity project on there and it's using C# and a Unity project, that's okay. I mean, it's okay. What we've always said is we want to maximize your opportunities. And when you maximize it, when whatever you're showing is directly related to what they do, it's better. But building it in Unity doesn't is better than having nothing. I mean, so like I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that if you build a website, there are different skills. You got to do different things. Layout, HTML, JavaScript, all those kind of things are part of the job. So I would say build a web project. Right now, you've got your Unity project. Keep it on your resume. Keep it on your portfolio, and then add a web project to it. You know, unless you're going for a gaming type job, then yeah, Unity's great. So that's my 2 cents. Doesn't mean it won't hurt. It's not going to hurt you, but I think having a web job and you're going for and having web projects on it is definitely going to help you more. Hope that helps. Sorry if I ruined your day. So like, you know, hope that helps. So like, good luck with that. So I lost sound right there real quick. I lost sound somehow. So for a dev job, how involved does one get with CSS? I can't hear you. So I feel like most people hate it. Most people like to make fun of CSS, but they don't necessarily have to hate it. You do have to do it if you're going to do web development. That's just the way it is. But do you have to know how to build the Taj Mahal in CSS, you know, something like that? No, you don't have to do that. So like, you know, if you can find some CSS art, we can show some. You know, I think that's kind of cool. And then we'll work out the sound here. I can't hear Kevin at all, so see what's up. Yeah, coded with using CSS and HTML. That's not what you have to do right there. That's not necessarily the thing you have to do. You know, so look at these are crazy. Good. So, you know, Netscape, of course, makes it look like Minecraft art. So, you know, I think so. That's kind of cool. So still got sound issue. Let me just see if is it on my side. I'm not sure if it's on my side or not. Oh, they can't hear you either. So maybe it's not. It's you, Kevin. It's not me. So so I don't know what the deal was. We had this problem the other day where it was like switching sound devices on you. So
you hear me now? You hear me now?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. I just toggled it off and
All
back
right.
on again.
All right. There you go. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Don't know why. No idea.
The mute button.
No idea. But I was saying,
All right,
hold on,
yeah.
but I was saying that this is my attempt at CSS art. Actually, my attempt wouldn't even be this good. This is actually better than my attempt. I just think that's funny. This is Minecraft. Funny. This is pretty funny. This is like I guess the original, and then this is the attempt at it. I think that's pretty funny. Yeah. I don't know. Do people hate CSS? I don't know. Do they?
No, I don't think so. I mean, like, it's a necessary thing of what you do. If you're laying out a web page, you have to have CSS to center something. You have to CSS to do anything to lay it out or whatsoever. Bootstrap does mask you from a lot of that, which is why we like Bootstrap, where you can really build things that look really nice. Bootstrap gets hate from some of the purists out there, but like I think most of the dev shops use something like Bootstrap or Tailwind or something like that. I think Bootstrap's the best one out there on the market right now. I mean, I get there's people that like, you know, they want to write it all in their own Flexbox and rebuild the container every single time. I mean, like, you know, I'd rather just say class equals container and move on.
Well, at that point, you'd sort of build your own framework, wouldn't you? That was the, I mean, that's what people end up doing. Is like, what a waste. Yeah. I don't know. Seems like a bit of a waste. Leverage something that's already there.
Or you end up like bringing the style sheet onto every project that you've built out.
Right, there's like a standard. Which is the same as building your framework. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, you build your own framework.
So, I mean, I don't get it. So,
yeah, I
but
don't know
whatever.
either.
I do think you have to know something about it.
I think with CSS,
So,
it's like, I think it potentially is like a love-hate thing. I actually like CSS. I think CSS is great
yeah,
because I like the designer aspect of CSS. I like
right,
that you can do things with CSS that affect the design of the layout, and I like playing with the design. So for me, it's
right,
like I prefer messing with that stuff, and I like the stuff that you can do with CSS.
right.
Often I'll come across something, I'll be like, man, you can do that with CSS? That's fascinating.
So here's what I think the thing that you need to know about CSS. Like I'm just going to give you what I think you should like really be looking at is you need to understand the selectors. So do I select it by ID, the name of the tag, collect, those kind of things. So like,
Yeah,
and then the selectors, the nested selectors. In other words, how do I select a particular p tag inside of a div or inside of a main? I want to like
right.
color all the paragraph tags inside of the main tag. So those are the common things that you're trying to do inside, and it's not difficult. It looks kind of funky sometimes,
Yeah.
but in general, your pound signs, your dots, and you just put the tag in there. So there's basically 3 ways, and then how do you select things on a certain use case? And then you can go into more advanced selectors like the odds and the evens. There's something
Yeah, I
about
like
like
looking at
that.
like the nth child and those kind of
Yeah,
selectors. They're
yeah,
kind of
that kind of
interesting.
thing where you want to make it one dark and one light based on
Yeah.
a selector. And then after that, it's just properties on the particular tag that you can set. They're all kind of the same. You got color, background color, that kind of stuff. But I think if you can get there, then you can learn about, even if I want to do a complex animation, which I did on a site that I built yesterday or the other night, it had you saw it, had like a little animation, little fade up the text somewhere.
Yep.
I went and found that fade up and just used it.
Right, you just knew that you could do it with CSS, and you're just like, oh, I'm going to do that, and you just went and found it and
did
used
I
it.
sit out there and write out all the keyframe stuff in there? No. If you go see, no, I just went and copied a nice fade up one, and then I could modify it based on if I thought it was too slow or too fast. And so that's how I use CSS a lot. I mean, so CSS Tricks is a great website that I go to quite a bit, and I'm looking for how to do certain specific thing. If you put it this way, let's show our plugin for Bootstrap, Kevin. Let me show you our plugin for Bootstrap.
Yeah, let me.
And actually, you know what? I did it on something else. I'm thinking of something in the course that I did. So, like, I did a piece in the course that that showed I put a box around something and then use CSS to style it up. So it's pretty easy.
Okay. So it's not on this thing.
But
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, let me show it anyway. I'm here
it's
now.
all running together now.
I'm here now, though. Look. So if you
look at the snippets, almost 3K.
Almost at 3K.
We need 100 people to install that.
Yeah, we do. Just over, what are we, 128. That'd be great.
Yeah. Give us another kind of like...
Let's look at the reviews. We haven't looked at these live. I've not looked at these, so I don't know what people put in here again. Like we did this last time.
Good ones in here.
Oh, it's a bunch of you guys. Look, thank you. Oh yeah, cool. I think we mentioned this last time.
Jordan Foster. Jordan Foster down here, man. Look at Jordan's and
Jordan's a hype guy, man. Jordan's a chat hype guy. He's always the guy that gives thumbs up. I like Jordan. Jordan's cool. The history of VS plugins. Rarely have fingers had the pleasure of clicking on such a useful and beautifully coded Bootstrap 5 snippet collection. This truly deserves the Coded Foundry seal of excellence.
Man,
wow.
Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan. I like it.
You know what, Jordan? That is a fantastic comment. Send Kevin an email, an info with your address, and I'm going to send you a copy. I'll sign it myself. I'm going to send you a copy of Breaking the Code. How about that?
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, send it to info@codefoundry.com. I'll put it in the chat. Hold on.
Yeah, and we'll ship it out to you. I'll sign it and ship it out to you for being. That's an awesome comment, and that's just creative writing there. That's best. It's awesome. Thanks, Jordan. So,
I don't know if Jordan's here, actually. I'm not sure if I've seen him comment today. I don't know. He might not be here today. If he's not, he's watching it back.
If he's not here, then
if you're not
when
watching,
we see him again, we'll send him a book.
Yeah, or if not, somebody remind him next time he's here, because I'll forget.
Jordan Foster.
Let me see here. Ben says CSS can get frustrating when you change a property value and nothing happens. Yeah, that's the cascading part of the style sheet, right? Also, different browsers seem to interpret the CSS standards slightly different.
They
Yeah,
do, and there's
they
some
do.
workarounds on those kind of things, fallbacks and things like that. But a lot of times when that CSS doesn't do change when you think it does, it usually has to do with the selection or the order in the style sheet that's being linked
Yeah.
to in your thing. So maybe there is some other style that's overriding the one that you have.
Yep. That's what I've
So
normally noticed. But I tell you what, when you
yeah,
inspect it, you can look at
they tell you
you can see which one's actually, you can see that it's like got
right.
a line through it and which one is actually overwriting it, and you can figure it out.
Yeah,
It just takes a minute
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So typically, here's a tip for the day. If you're using Bootstrap, when you link it up in your HTML file, you have a link statement in there, and you're saying link href Bootstrap whatever, and then underneath that you can put your custom style in there. So it is loaded last, which means that the style, if they have the same name, your style sheet will override the Bootstrap one. So that's how you could say, for example, change a button color like BTN dash, dark or whatever. You could override that and change the dark color. You could override that. That's one way you can. And people say you can't change Bootstrap, but you can. So they've made it easier in Bootstrap 5 to like mess with the colors.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they have way more colors built in now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good. There's another question from Walker. I like this question. You can like this question too, I think. How can I navigate applying for jobs that aren't in my city? Ask remote until I can move, or save up and be ready to just leave in a couple weeks?
Okay, so if you interview for a job and it's not remote and they want you to move, a lot of times if they want you, sometimes you can ask for a moving allowance, maybe 5K, 2K, $2,500, and say, hey, can you help
Yep.
me move there? You also can say, work out with them when you can be on site. So maybe that's 90 days from you work remote until you can find a place to live and stuff like that. Typically in the US, I would say most people are very reasonable. If they're interviewing someone that's not in their city and they're asking them to relocate, they know you can't be there tomorrow. It's going to
Right.
take a minute.
Yep.
So like,
Yep.
and then you can ask for, if you're working with a recruiter, ask for a relocate bonus, something like that to help you with moving expenses, things like that. So, and if none of that can happen, then you can say, I can be there when I can be there, and see if you can work it out. So I hope that helps, Walker.
Yep. And I've personal experience with that. Like, we've done that with my wife. We've moved. We've had moving allowances. We've had time to move. We've done that a couple of different times. So yeah, it's a thing. But
So
I would
something you ask for.
Exactly, something you asked for. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I would be ready. I think you're more inclined to be like, yeah, just be, the quicker you can get going, the better.
Yeah.
And you open up
Exactly.
your job search then to, like, anywhere that you're willing to move, which gives you a much broader, like, selection of positions you can choose from too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's much better. Okay. I'm not quite sure what the question is, but we may be able to do something with it. Turkistamin says, do you have fear or depression coding time?
No, I don't have any fear. I don't normally get depressed. I know that I'm wired different than most. So like I'm a little bit different. I really like doing it. I think it's fun. That's just me though. Maybe it'd be some people that
We definitely hear people that get like burnout, right? I mean, that's definitely kind of a thing
yeah.
that we hear about.
Yeah.
For sure. And again, it's just different people have different things, right? So
Right.
let me look. Next question. Robert McCabe has a question. I have an interview today with a startup. Awesome, but it's not. I don't know what that means. If it's maybe not clear if it's a paid position. This will be my first opportunity to graduate from a boot camp. If it isn't paid, should I take it anyway? Ooh, good question.
So here's what I think about that, Robert. Number one, definitely experience is what you got to get at this time. So like I think you should get paid for what you're doing if it's the only thing that you can get, and you feel like what you're learning is going to bring value to it. Then you can take it, But if it isn't paid, it shouldn't be 50 hours a week. It definitely should be part time, so like that you can still continue to look. Now, if it's something that they say they'll pay you after 90 days, hold them to it. but continue to look as you're building out your resume. But just keep looking even while you're doing that. Especially in the U.S., and I'm assuming just by your name that you're in the U.S. By your profile picture, I'm assuming you're in the U.S. You could be in Europe. I don't know, but let's say you're in the U.S. It's not. I don't want Keat, Mister. I don't know what that means, but I would say that you should keep on looking. I don't think it's fair in the U.S. specifically to work free for anybody. Like, you should have to at least get minimum wage, something, man. Like, if you're doing something for somebody. So there are a lot of companies out there that want unpaid internships. I mean, I interviewed a company coming and looking for graduates, unpaid internships, and we don't recommend them. Just because, like, if you're starting a startup software company and the software company is the goal and you're building software and you can't afford to have the software built, I mean,
yeah, there's another problem there.
How far is this company going to go? In other words, you're literally doing it as, like, you might as well build your own bug tracker, your own projects, or build your own product than work on someone else's product. That's the kind of the way I look at it. But if you need direction, you need things like that, I think it's pretty good. But there are a lot of people out there that have an idea and they think that they can build the software to get to proof of concept so they can raise money on it. So, but it's just, and they're not coders. So I don't know why it wouldn't be paid at this point. But if you look, experience is important though. So I don't know, Robert. I would maybe take it if you like the project, like what you're working on, like what you're doing, but don't let that become your full-time job that's unpaid. You keep looking. You don't have any kind of reason to stay there longer than it takes you to find another gig.
Yeah. I would say if you're going to work, I mean, my attitude towards that is if you're going to work for free, work for yourself. You work towards your own goals.
Yeah, I always say if you work for free, you're working for me.
That's it. Exactly.
I mean, like the way I look at it.
Especially if they're going to hold you accountable to, like, I don't know, like you say, like a schedule and like things like that. It's
schedule, deliverables, all the pressure, none of the pay.
Yeah, like, exactly. That's kind of crazy.
It should at least be minimum wage, man. I mean, like, what I mean? Like that. I mean, something. I mean, I get it. Some companies don't have it, but I just don't think you should be a software company if you can't afford to have the software written. I mean, like, I don't think you are. I think you're just pretending to be one, thinking you can get there. So.
Yep, I'm with you.
Hope that helps, Robert.
Okay, last question. Thoughts on Webflow side hustle while applying for jobs after finishing the self-paced course?
Yeah, Webflow, Wix, Squarespace, all those side hustle. Absolutely, man. Set them up. Get them. Here's how I would do it. I would set up them on that. Get them to pay for Webflow or Squarespace. Make sure that your customer's paying the monthly for it, and then you're charging to set it up and change it. And so you have
don't get stuck with a bill from one of these.
Okay, don't get stuck with the bill, because then you have to have this awkward conversation like, dude, I'm going to shut your website off. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get you next week. Make sure that that's how I set it up. You create the Squarespace site, you turn it over to them, and then they have to put in the payment details to apply for it. Typically, administration or payment part is on them, and then you're just the content contributor.
Yep.
So. Anyway,
I've set up Squarespace stuff for other people before. They've just given me their card details. I've set it all up, the card details, and they've paid me separately, so they kind of get two bills. One from I use Squarespace, so it's one from Squarespace and one from my services, and that was pretty seamless.
That's it.
Easy to do.
That's how you do it. But I mean, I think people underestimate the side hustle of using these CMSs to build things for people.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they try and they do, because the way, if you watch a Squarespace commercial, they're like, "Oh, your grandma can do it," and it's like, kind of, but then try making an adjustment to something, and it's like, if it's not cookie cutter, it's like now it becomes a little bit more technical. There's a little bit more to it than your mom can generally manage. Right? It's like, I don't underestimate those skills.
Grandma could make a website. It's going to look like crap. I mean, it's not going to look great. But making it look good it takes skill and talent. Right. It doesn't matter what CMS you're using. Yep. And then you also get really well versed in how these CMSs do certain things. I know Kevin's well versed in Squarespace and like how the layout works, and making it look kind of good sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, it can.
Laying it out. but you can usually
Sometimes
get there.
you're within. Yeah, it doesn't have. So it's not a free for all, right? You can't throw any design at it. You have to. Some
Mm-mm.
things work well in it. Some things just don't work at all. So
Right.
you've got to work within
Exactly.
the constraints of what does work, and you have to understand what works. So if you're designing
Yeah.
something, you're going to throw it up on Squarespace. You can't just design anything because it won't take anything. It's
Right. Yeah.
it's a little bit more complex than that, because you're in kind of a walled garden. So you have to know what
Yeah.
works and what doesn't, and that's where you can, and that's where like that person that's paying you is going to pay you for that expertise because you know what you can do with the CMS. You're going to know what you can
Yeah.
do with Squarespace. You're going to be able to tell them, oh yeah, we can do that. We can have that form. It can look like this.
Yep.
And generally that's what they're going to pay you for.
And that form's going to be sent to your email, unless you do
Right.
something else.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Our next question here. You heard about the Odin project. What do you think?
I've heard quite a bit about it. I have not investigated it. I don't know what the outcome of the Odin project is. So let me know. Here's how I would look at Odin project versus anything else. Are you building something that you can show? And so if that's the result of the Odin project, then make sure you have something you can show at the end of it. So I haven't really looked into it any further than that. But learning how to code, however you do it, I think you end up with a portfolio and a set of projects you can show. That's what I think about it. That's how I think you judge every course that you do,
Yep.
whether that's college, boot camp, Learn.Coder Foundry, the Odin project, free code camp. Does it put you on a path to produce a portfolio? If you're using that for your sole purpose of learning, this is my sole way to learn how to code. Do I have something that I can show somebody during an interview? So anyway, good luck.
I think it's a good place. I'm looking at it real quick. It's a good place to start. They do still have a Ruby on Rails track, which is interesting. They have a Ruby track and a full stack JavaScript track.
Yep.
So yeah, but I've never played with it personally. I've never used it either. I've used a bunch of these things, and that's one that I have not used. Okay, VJ, thanks for the question. Says, can I become in 4 to 5 months a full stack web developer and land a job?
That's what we do at Coder Foundry. So if you want to come to our virtual boot camp, then that's what we do. 3 months, and then that would give you 2 months to search for a gig. That's what we do. But our 3 months is probably the most time-consuming 3 months you'll spend in your entire life. We're 40 to 50 hours per week, and it's every single day and night, and you're working and you're doing that. And we build projects. So it's a lot of hard work. We're different than everyone else. So, but it's possible, but I think it's full-time study for you to do it in 4 to 5 months. However you do it. You can go to Coder Foundry, you can go to, a different boot camp, you can go on your own, but it's full-time, and then build projects, just not copy code. You got to build things. I think that'll work. It's possible to do.
Okay. I think Lola has a follow-up to a previous question. Could you use that side hustle content in your own portfolio?
Sure. You can build your portfolio however you want.
I would.
I would say that we build it our own here, but we're using Bootstrap and templates on top of that, so that we have a little more control over how it looks and feels. But like, hey, if you want a portfolio and you want to build it with Webflow, and then you're out there pushing Webflow content, then hey, you know what? Build it in Webflow for sure.
I would say that also, let's say that you even become a full stack dev, but you're familiar with Webflow, and you've built some Webflow like sites. You could still include those on your portfolio as a section that says like, it's a skill you have, right? You have a skill with this. Because maybe somebody wants that. Maybe they want a website that's not going to be, totally bespoke, and they want you to throw it up in a few days, not weeks or months. You're like, yeah, I can do that with Webflow. It's going to be much cheaper. It's like, here's what I can offer you. It's like it's just another service.
Here's the kind of content I don't like in a portfolio. Let's say that I'm using Webflow, but it's all brochureware, meaning that it's not real. It's not really in production. It's full of lorem ipsum.
Yep,
it's so that those, when I see those on front end development sites, it's like, hey, I made a gym site, and it's not real, and it's obviously it's not real. then it just, I don't know, it just doesn't
Yeah,
move the needle for me.
Yeah, something it takes something away from it. It does when it's obviously kind of faked.
Yeah.
It just
And it's
something
not
about
finished.
that isn't good.
It's not well put together. It's not finished.
Yep.
So even if it's fictional, I would say the forms have to work. All the content has to be laid out. All the pictures, everything has to be kind of real. That's what I think. If you're going to do something that way.
Yep.
Hope that helps.
Here's something interesting from Troy. It says he was offered a remote job last week from a 30-minute conversation. Great pay, but I wanted a week to think about it. They needed someone right now, so they chose another candidate next time. Interesting. So you must have impressed them in that 30-minute conversation.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I don't know what you did. I'm actually kind of glad that you say. I know this is going to sound weird, but they did go with somebody else on next time. I don't know if you. So let's say that I'm on the other end of this, and somebody offered me a job based on a 30-minute conversation, but knew nothing else about me. A giant radar would go off for me. It just would. I would be like, okay, you don't know enough about me or enough about my work to offer me a job at this point. Like, why? What? You're either desperate or something weird's going on here.
Well, here's what I think could happen too, Troy. And I think that they interviewed you, maybe 5 other people. It was between you and someone else. The other guy was interviewing at 3 other places. You were going to take a week, and so they just picked the other person that said yes right then. So I think that's nothing simpler than that. The reason you took a week to think about it is you were not sure about what they were doing anyway. So I think all that's valid. I mean, like you're
totally
working, you got a job. You don't have to take every opportunity you get. You found the right place. So I feel like maybe the decision was actually mutual.
Yep.
No,
I agree.
So
I agree.
I don't think
you may have actually
way.
dodged a bullet in a weird kind of way.
Yeah, or maybe it would have been perfectly fine, but just I don't know. I mean, I would just say that I would just move on and sweat it. I wouldn't sweat that at all.
Yep.
So I'd keep going.
Yep. Definitely.
Keep looking, man, if you're looking for something new.
Yeah. Okay, Estevan. Hey, good to see you back.
Estevan, where you been, man?
Estevan's been off busy doing stuff. He's been working hard.
Yeah.
I see him on LinkedIn doing stuff. So yeah, I haven't seen you here in a while. So he hasn't used Bootstrap in years, but I heard Bootstrap 5 has changed a lot from prior versions. It's more modular now. I'm just curious in general. I wouldn't say that part's changed to 5, has it really?
No, I mean, like you still have the grids and stuff like that. I do think there's a lot. Number one, big thing they say doesn't use jQuery, so it's jQuery free.
Yep.
So there's also more variables that you can change. So colors and kind of thing, you're opening them up. More default colors in general that were, they had like 12. Now there's a whole like pattern of colors and shades and stuff like that. So part of it, making it your own and changing it easier is probably the big things for Bootstrap 5.
I would say that it's very modular too, wouldn't you? I would say if you want to add a card, you can add a Bootstrap card. Yeah, exactly. Or you want to use just the grid for the layout, just use the grid for the layout. If you want to add like the whatever, you want to just use it for a button, add the button. It's very, very modular like that. You don't have to use everything from it. You can just use one tiny little piece of it.
I like it. I think it's cool. I mean, but you can check it out. They have some of the best documentation in the industry for anything. So like Estevan,
their examples
you thought in the past versus what you have now, I think you can very easily figure it out. The only thing I'll say negative about their site is sometimes the documentation, they have documentation for each minor release. And sometimes you can find yourself on like a 4X documentation when you need to be on the 5.0 documentation. So, but if you get in the right place, it's really good.
Yeah. Because a lot did change in terms of like syntax between 4 and 5, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Gucci. Let's see here. Oh, we got a super chat too.
Oh.
Thank you for the super chat, Ken.
Thank you for the super chat. All right.
We'll come to that next. While we do your
we'll cover that in a second. Thank you, Kent. We'll get to you right now. All right, cool. How can I go about doing that?
Let me do that up. There we go. So Gucci wants to know, whether it be possible to run Blazor not only on desktop, but also for mobile. So it can map design via Maui, but a developer just writes an app for the web. That literally is what it does, right?
That's what they're saying. Now, I'm telling you, it's in preview 4. By November, we'll know more about like kind of what this is going to be. But Blazor will run on the desktop. Blazor obviously is going to run on the web. But .NET MAUI will also deliver that same type of environment to your mobile as well. So like, you're not going to be pushing Blazor to the phone per se. You're going to push a native app to the phone, which I think is better. But you could run a Blazor on the desktop. So for sure, not only is it going to be possible in the near future, I'd say it's possible right now under the preview, and it's just going to get better over the next 6 months. All right, cool. Ray Carly Brown, thank you. All right, cool.
Ray, we'll come to yours here in a second. Let me
come back to you, Ray.
Get that one to queue. Let's jump back to Kent's real quick. So Kent wants to know, is up here in Canada. Awesome, love Canada. One of my favorite places to visit. Love going to Toronto, great place. And I want to join the virtual bootcamp. I don't see the link to drop my application in. How do I go?
Okay, just show me where that link's at.
Yeah,
it's just on coderfoundry.com.
Let me pull that up here. We'll jump to the side, and I can this one, and I will show you. If you go to coderfoundry.com, you can apply right here, or you can apply right here. Both places will work. And that is, if you just want to go straight to the site, that is coderfoundry.com/apply. And then fill out your information here. Ask you a whole bunch of questions. And then you send in your application, and somebody will get back to you. So again, coderfoundry.com/apply. And I'll stick that in chat to you, Ken, real quick, so you can see that.
Hope that helps, Kent. Good luck in getting in. So I'll probably be talking to you if you apply. So be good. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, next super chat. Let me pull that one out, remove that, go to this one. What does Ray say? So is Blazor commercially used? I've been building Blazor app and learned so much from it. We're talking about this at the beginning. I think you might have missed it, but we actually had an interview with somebody today.
Yeah, so like I think right now you gotta understand Blazor's around 1.5 to 2 years old at the most. So is it commercially used? Yes, we have. And the consulting side, I know a company that's doing it inside their thing for their app. So it's definitely commercially used. It is still fairly new. When you look at something that's 1.5 years old, it's a new framework. But it's definitely battle tested, and definitely you can definitely build stuff with it for sure and use it commercially. You may see more things behind the firewall than anything else, but like we should see some very familiar apps probably come out with it very soon, I would imagine. So I think that's good. I think you definitely something you're gonna build your career around. It's gonna be hot, man. I'm telling you.
Thank you for the super chat, Ray.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ray.
Another question. Another super chat.
All right, man. We're buying tacos all around. Smash that like button, y'all.
Lala, thank you. Yes, smash the like button. I love the reminder because I always forget to remind people. You guys do a great job of reminding me to remind people, so I appreciate it. Thank you, Lala. So it's a good question actually from Ford. Would you host the .NET projects for your portfolio in Azure?
I'm going to tell you what we do. We used to use Azure for posting student portfolios, but the problem with the portfolios that we were hosting, which involved SQL and more complex things, it ended up charging student stuff. And so some of our students coming in needed a free way to do it. So currently right now we are hosting on Heroku. And in the self-paced course, if you take our self-paced course or you come in here, we're going to show you how to host a fully functional .NET project on Heroku using Postgres. Because when you move to SQL, whether on Heroku or Azure, AWS, or something like that, there's a charge involved from Microsoft. So we're looking for a free database, number one, and then we're looking for a free way to host it, and Heroku has a great free tier. Now, it's not fast on the free tier, so if you need it to be faster, then you can pay a little bit more money on Heroku to make it run faster. But that's kind of currently what we're doing. Azure, you can host it on Azure too. It's just going to probably cost you something per month.
Just be wary. We've had students before where all of a sudden it's set up wrong, and I say wrong. It's not wrong. It's just wrong in terms of how they're going to get billed for it. So what happens is they a couple months afterwards, Microsoft sends them a bill for like $400, for hosting.
And you're like, what?
Like,
Dude,
like I'm a
it's a
student. This is
portfolio.
like a demo app. What's going
Yeah,
on here? Like,
exactly.
this is not
Exactly.
actual traffic coming to this thing. So just be very
Yeah.
careful. They have actually has weird tiers, right? They have two different free tiers, I guess. One that's like genuinely free,
Yeah,
and
and then
one that's
SQL's
pay
technically
as you
never
go.
free anyway. So once you start moving to SQL, there's just going to be a charge for it. So
Yeah. So
um,
just be
it's just
careful.
yeah,
Yeah. Just be careful. Because I don't
right.
think they have a way of setting a cap on it either, do they? Not that we ever saw. You can't see
You can
like.
set caps in there. It's just kind of complicated. I mean,
Okay.
like it's
Okay.
so Azure in general. There's nothing wrong with Azure. I love the product, but it is enterprise focused. That's just what it's
Yeah.
for.
It's meant to be paid.
So yeah, it's meant to. They're going to get paid thousands and thousands of dollars a month per customer because they're running things at scale and it's large and they need all these things and it can seem overwhelming at first. So Heroku is much simpler.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's one of those things, isn't it, where they have guaranteed uptimes and they have, unlimited kind of bandwidth and those kind of things, and that's what you're kind of paying for. You're paying for it if you're a company. And you get hosting bills that are tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, and that's like their customer. That's who they're looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a product for them, not necessarily for us messing around with throwing up, demo sites or portfolios or those kind of things.
So I hope that helps, Ford.
One quick question. You're gonna love this one. What's better, Linux or Windows? I had a guy argue with me before
what? If you're
about
a gamer,
why Linux is better than Windows.
Windows is better for gaming. I don't know if there's any game run on Linux other than like a text-based adventure game or something like that. Are you for coding? I think depends on what you're doing. I mean, either one. I think this code runs on Linux. It runs on Mac OS, it runs on Windows. So if you're writing code, maybe Linux works for you there. So I don't know depends on what you're doing. If you want to use lots and lots of software, it has lots of capabilities to go buy something and download it. Windows is obviously better than Linux. If you're hosting a web server, Linux is cheaper to do than Windows server. So I mean, just depends on what you're doing. So, but if
it's
you
been a
want
while since I've played with the Linux, and by a while, I'm going to say a few years. I've played with a whole bunch of different distros before. Great if you want to be in the weeds. Like that's my attitude towards it. And as I've gotten older, I don't want to be in the weeds anymore. I just want something that works.
Something that works.
I don't want to have to worry about setting up my network adapters and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, I don't care about that. I just want it to plug it in and it just work. And for me, that's Windows. That's just me, Any hacker will tell you Linux is the way to go, though.
Well, that's because a lot of the hacking payloads and stuff like that are built in Linux, so that you can run.
Yeah, but it is personal preference. I'm sure it's
your Kali.
OS.
Get your Kali rolling up on Linux, so you can hack some people.
Yep. Okay, let's do one more real quick. Tech Under Radar wants to know: is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript enough for getting a remote job? Where can I get those jobs?
So looking, if you're in the U.S., look in Indeed and see kind of if people are hiring for those. I do believe this: HTML, CSS, JavaScript is enough. I think if you know a framework on top of that, so like React, Vue, or Angular, I think that's going to improve your chances.
Yeah.
Very few people are just doing HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript on top of that. And if you go to React, that's also TypeScript. So there's probably some other things that you can learn. However, don't just listen to me. Go look at Indeed.com and see and there's also remote jobs only websites where the requirements may be that. Maybe they're designing HTML emails or something like that, and that's all they want. So I'm sure there's some of those jobs out there, and so you just got to find the job boards where they're posted, apply for them, show your portfolio, and try to win.
And don't forget, to try and secure one of those things, you've also got to be able to prove that you can do it. So again, you're going to need a portfolio. It's a portfolio of front-end applications, but you're going to need it because you still have to prove that you can do the job. Even more so remotely, because you're not going to be on site. You're not going to do an on-site technical interview. It's going to be remote, and the more work you have to show them that you can actually do, the easier it's going to be to get that job. More so than being on site.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
All right, is that it?
That's
Anybody
it.
else?
That's it. We'll be back again on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Wilfredo wants to know, are we getting a video teaser? Nope.
No, I'm sorry, Wilfredo. But you know what? If we push something out, make sure you're following us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter. If anything goes out, you go there. Our Discord channel, we could definitely put it there. You may see stuff on our community page. I think those are the 3 ways to interact with us if we push something out. So like if Kevin dropped some screenshots from the course the other day I think it was on Twitter and in Discord. So like,
and I'll probably do that
if
again.
you're not on those channels, you may miss some stuff because we're not going to make a video every time and push it to YouTube. It's a little bit more time consuming. So like we may make something and release it on the community page, Twitter, or even LinkedIn. Sometimes we do stuff on LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn, so I don't know.
Follow us on
stay
Twitter.
tuned, man. It's coming. It is coming. So like, and we'll announce a date soon.
We will. And we will be back on Tuesday for another one of these. So thank you
all
all
right, see
for
you guys
hanging out
Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend and good luck and just keep coding, guys. We'll see you later.
See you later.